YouTube. This is Way Too Long, coach of the FC Seviper 04. Unfortunately bringing you our last match of the JBA Season 1, since the other two matches were already played and both our main rivals for the playoff race have won high enough. So no matter what we do now, we don't make the playoffs. But at least we, with our win last week, we put some suspense in this week's matches. It's of course nice, but still my team is built for a more serious match. But now of course I can battle much more relieved. Kind of, there's no strong pressure now that I have to make the playoffs, since I cannot. I'll just have some fun now. Still, the team is not like straight heat. It's made for a serious battle, but still. We are up against the Westchester Weavile in our rematch, coached by Kyle. And still, here you see up first Victini, which had Serene Grace in our last battle. Rodon Wash, which was really annoying. We have Fortress, Granbull, Leipert, Mr. Mime, Salamence, Viperia, Porygon 2, Scolipede, and the Mega Venusaur. And here we have our team. Up first, the only member of our team which can still take a huge win in this match. Since if we get 3 kills with Sharknado 4 or Mega Gunshot, it can make rank 1 in the MVP race of the regular season. I hope we get 3 kills with this moveset. It's kind of a different moveset than that we used throughout the season. Since now Sharknado 4 is more mixed. We have Dragon Claw and Earthquake, like always. Can't use Outrage this time, especially since there are 2 fairies on our opponent's team. Then we have Fire Blast for the Fortress and Hidden Power Steel, mainly for the Granbull, since if that lowers our attack by 1 stage, Hidden Power Steel is not affected by that, and we do way more damage than Poison Jab or Iron Head after an Intimidate. And of course more and we are not bulky this time with massive HP investment. This time Sharknado 4 is as fast as he can get with Naive Nature, full speed investment, full special attack investment. Then we have for the last time paired with Sharknado, Hyperion the Hippowdon, holding the Rocky Helmet with Stealth Rock, Slag Off, with Stone Edge and Earthquake, so Hyperion can really good counter the Victini if it's not special with Grass Knot or Energy Ball. Of course, in that case Hippowdon won't be that much of a solution. But if it's physical, like Choice Band Victini with Recreate, Hyperion can have a really good time. We can set up the stand, and the usual EV spread. Just not investment in attack, 8 investment in special defense. Then we have kind of our favorite member here on the team, even though he only really got to shine in the first match. Masquerade the Ipkiss, like always holding the Focus Sash with Intimidate. This time we have Agility, so we can pass a +2 onto something. And Scolipede, if it wants to protect, 1 speed boost might not be enough to outspeed whatever has the +2 now. We also of course have our Sticky Webs and also Scold. If the Focus Sash is still working against like the Victini, we can get a light hit, since Ipkiss is not that strong. Scold hits the Hyperia, hits the Victini, and we can burn something, probably. And also here we have the usual EV spread, max speed, high HP and some in special attack. Then we have, like in the last match, Hollywood our Ditto, holding the Choice Scarf, of course, with Transform, because it has to have a move and investment in HP. Up next we have, since Hyperion is kind of a physical wall, then our special wall that can also take on Victini, Jetty Beam, the Tentacle, this time holding the Assault Vest. We have Liquid Ooze in case the Mega Venusaur has Giga Drain, basically like the last match. We have Giga Drain ourselves, also Knock Off, Acid Spray and Rapid Spin. To keep off hazards of the field, we can lower some special defense stats and knock off some items. All the good stuff. High investment HP, so Jelly Bean can be really bulky. 80 investment in defense, 172 in special defense, and some investment in speed. And last but not least, Pockets or Klefki, also holding the Focus Sash, because even with Okaberry Choice Band we create knocks out a Klefki. And if we get up Klefki at full health against a Victini, we can paralyze it with Thunder Wave and go all the way down to our Sash, and then maybe set up some spikes or switch out, taking the next hit. We will see. We have Modest Nature, full investment in special attack, since we have Flash Cannon and Dazzling Gleam, which can hit stuff like, especially with Flash Cannon, which can hit the 2 fairy types on our opponent's team. And this is our team for this week, for the last week. We're not this match is not as suspense as the other 2 this week, since already everything is decided, but we still want to have fun here, play our match, and I'll see you at the match right now. So here we are in the match, and as you can see, our opponent brings Porygon 2, Fortress, the Mega Venusaur, the Rotom Wash, which was really annoying last match, the Victini, and the Viper. So none of the 2 fairies is here. The Hidden Power Steel on Garchomp is already basically useless. And I still realize I have really limited options for the Rotom. So I have the choice here, since I have, except for Toxic Spikes, I have every kind of spike. I have every kind of entry hazards in my team, and I have the choice here. I decided to lead straight with Masquerain, so we can set up sticky webs, even though there's the Fortress. Maybe we can switch around at the right time, so Garchomp faces the Fortress and can blow it back with the Fire Blast. Yeah, we will see. Yeah, so I'll just lead with Masquerain to get sticky webs up, or Agility, Baton Pass. As we see, our opponent leads with the really annoying Rotom Wash. We get the Intimidate drop, which is of course completely unnecessary against a Rotom. And instead of Volt switching, maybe he expects us to switch into either hit Powdown or the Garchomp here. He just switches out straight into Fortress as we set up our sticky webs, which of course will stay there really short time with the Fortress instantly there. So not the best start for us, but hey, we survived the first turn of a battle. We got a move off in the first turn of the battle. So here I decided to go for Scald instead for going straight for Agility, hoping to get a burn on the Fortress, so he cannot heal up, probably get his sturdy back if we get the burn, and even weaken stuff like Gyro Ball. And as we get our Scald up, he goes for the Volt Switch, which does not so much damage to even a Masquerain, because of course Fortress special attack is really low. And here the Porygon comes in, which of course now we have the Intimidate drop. I just go for Agility. As the Porygon goes for Thunder Wave, reveals the Thunder Wave, so now our speedy game here even to switch into a Ditto, so we have to look out for, if we switch in our Ditto, that it's not getting paralyzed. So I thought here I would go straight for the baton pass into guard jump and get a +2 speed, but I get paralyzed, of course, which is really lucky for us because the Polygon goes for the ice beam, misses the kill on Masquerade, but of course if we hadn't get paralyzed we probably would have gone into the guard jump and ice beam has a chance to kill at this point, so a lucky para here for us. I decided to go for baton pass anyway, but now of course I know to not go into guard jump, I go into jelly beam instead, which can take an ice beam like no problem. But unfortunately it the -1 attack also gets baton passed, so knock off, which I go here will do very little damage, but at least we get rid of the Ährwin as the Polygon continues to thunder wave our team. And the sticky webs a really long time on the field right now. Mentioning this, the fortress comes in, I go for Scald again, this time do more damage, this time I also get the burn on the fortress, which is pretty nice, and Scalded 35%, now he's at 36, and I think here I straight have the chance to knock the fortress out, and so all our entry hazards can stay on the field, but we get paralyzed as the fortress gets the first rapid spin off and our sticky webs are gone, and with Masquerade being so weak I really doubt we get sticky webs again. But the burn is doing a good job for us here. I don't think the fortress can recover this up, as I go into Hyperion, set up the sand, to expecting a volt switch, so we can keep the fortress in somewhat longer, get another turn of burn damage, but he seems to expect it and switches right out into the Mega Venusaur, which is of course a big problem for Hyperion. And here expecting a Giga Drain, I go back into Tentacruel, which of course has the Liquid Ooze, so we can damage the Mega Venusaur with its own Giga Drain. It Mega Evolves and it goes for knockoff. Knocks off our Assault Vest, and in the next turn, since the Mega Venusaur is now faster thanks to the power, we see it has Earthquake, and it reveals to be a physical Mega Venusaur, which is of course not that rare. While the Sandstorm still does good damage here, and even limits his options to Synthesis up. I see this as a chance to get into Sharknado, Mega Evolve it this time on the first turn, so not forgetting about Mega Evolving, no misclicks, we get the Mega off first turn. I decided to go for Earthquake here since we are in the sand, Sand Force will help us, and we see 57% clean to hit KO, proving once again that Mega Gun Jump is a monster. Petal Blizzard does not so much damage to our physical, thanks to the physical bulk of Mega Guard Jump. Thankfully we outspeed 2. And now here I go for Dragon Claw, since he might expect another Earthquake going into the Rotom Wash, and Dragon Claw kills at this point anyway, so Mega Venusaur is down, 1 threat less for our Hippowdon. Sandstorm subsides, and of course the Rotom comes back in. I can clearly expect a Will-O-Wisp here, which is of course not good even if we are mixed. So I go right into Ipkiss here, sacking it off, expecting like either the Will-O-Wisp or straight a Hydro Pump. Ipkiss anyway did a pretty good job this season, so now I go into Ditto, scouting out Rotom moveset. It's a pretty standard moveset, Hydro Pump, Volt Switch. The Will-O-Wisp is there, and also the Pain Split. I just decided to go for Volt Switch, gain some initiative, not burning the Rotom Wash, which could have been better, of course, but I want to get some damage off because I really have nothing really on my team that can damage the Rotom pretty good. I think the Dragon Claw from Mega Guard Jump is here our strongest move, and it does to a physically defensive Rotom it does like 39%, which is not really that much. Anyway, I go into Klefki here, seeing a chance to get up some hazards. As the Rotom goes for the Will-O-Wisp, burns us, and of course gets rid of Klefki's Focus Sash. Then the Rotom switches out with the Volt Switch, and now the Victini comes in. As we just go for Dazzling Gleam, since Dazzling Gleam does at least some neutral stab damage to the Rotom Wash. I just wanted to weaken it, and we also get now some damage on the Victini. And here I see no chance, since we have Prankster, to not click the Thunder Wave, slowing down this immense threat. And we get a Thunder Wave off, and we finally again get some luck in our very last match that doesn't even matter. So Klefki is alive one more turn, so I decided to set up a first layer of spikes. And Victini is paralyzed again, which is kind of revenge for the first match when our Ditto got paralyzed and from the thunder from Victini. And I just get a second layer of spikes. Now the Victini reveals the blue flare, so we see it's a special Victini set, not recreate. And I decided to go into Hollywood this time, copy the Victini, and this time I don't have to fear the Choice Scarf since it is paralyzed, and I just decided to go for the Thunder here since it's the strongest move against the Victini. It also can damage like every other mon on our opponent's team pretty hard since the Mega Venusaur is already gone, and it pretty much eats it. As we get blue flared, of course it does not that much damage. We cannot get burned thanks to being a fire type now. The next Thunder goes off, again like 33%. Next blue flare goes off. And here I just want to switch out, don't want to be locked into Thunder. Going into Hyperion because I know I can eat at least one blue flare, and it misses, luckily for us. So now that it not matters, we finally get some luck. And we also know that we outspeed the Victini, which is pretty nice. So since I know I can take one blue flare, and I assume it's Choice Scarfed into the blue flare, I don't see a reason why to kill it off with Earthquake directly, since I have the chance to go for the Stealth Rocks. It just goes for blue flares again, clean 2-hit KO. But since it's paralyzed, we outspeed, we can finish it off with Earthquake next turn, which we do. So bye bye Victini, we get our revenge on Victini for being so really annoying in our last match. But still, we are 3 against 4 now. The Fortress comes in, lifts all the hazards on 1%, and this now is a really interesting turn. Since I have the good chance to outspeed this Fortress, I want to click Earthquake and just finish it off so it cannot rapid spin all our hazards that we just built up. It was really hard work. But I actually misclick on the Stealth Rocks. And if the Fortress would outspeed us, that would have been wouldn't have been such a bad move, since it rapid spins all our hazards away. We get a rocks up again, and it dies to burn. So I thought after this move, okay, it can't be this bad. Right the second I clicked this one because my opponent clicked its move really fast. So I thought, I clicked Stealth Rocks, but maybe the Fortress outspeed us, so it won't be this bad. And he goes for Rapid Spin, and he Power Down outspeeds Fortress, so going for Earthquake like I wanted it to would definitely be the better option, but you know, misclicks happen. But then something really interesting happens, which I didn't know. You have seen in the team prep that Powdon has a rocky helmet. So of course we click Stealth Rocks, we misclick Stealth Rocks, the Stealth Rocks go up, but it fails, and the Fortress goes for Rapid Spin and dies to our rocky helmet. And since it dies to rocky helmet, the Rapid Spin does not work. We still have our hazards. So it works out pretty well, this misclick, since we have learned something now. So what we can take away from this match is that if you have hazards up, your opponent goes for Rapid Spin and dies to your rocky helmet, your hazards stay on the field, which I think is pretty amazing. A misclick that taught us something. So the Fortress goes down, we still have 2 layers of spikes and Stealth Rocks, which immediately bite into the Porygon, which is now at 65% without an Eviolite. And since I know an Ice Beam can come here, I just decide to switch out into a Ditto, copy the Porygon, and take at least 1 Ice Beam, which we do. And here decide, since it has Thunderbolt, Recover, Ice Beam, and I don't remember the 4th move, honestly. It's not really relevant then. I just decide to click Thunderbolt, so we either get some damage off on Porygon, or even better, we get some damage off on Rotom. If we switches this in, maybe expecting like an Ice Beam, which would be resisted, but Thunderbolt is neutral. And you know, since we cannot do so much to Rotom, any damage together with Stealth Rocks might bring us in the position where we can kill it with Dragon Claw later. And he indeed switches out perfectly into Rotom. It takes the first Stealth Rocks damage. Thunderbolt goes off, we get nice 24% off. He cannot Pain Split us since we are dead low. And since we choice Scarfed, Porygon 2, we outspeed the Rotom, get another Thunderbolt off, another 21%, so it's now at 35. Even with leftovers, and needs some time to recover this. And of course, Rotom just goes for Hydro Pump, takes us out here. And here begins basically the best part of the game. So Rotom takes leftovers, goes up to 40% as Sharknado comes back in. And now, except for the Liepard, even Sharknado can outspeed everything in our opponent's team. And if we get past this Rotom, Sharknado already got 1 kill, so he's at 10 now, while the Excadrill is at 12. We can make the MVP run work here for our Sharknado. If we can take out this Rotom now, since if it goes for Will-O-Wisp, if it lives and goes for Will-O-Wisp, yeah, the Mega Garchomp sweep at the end is over, which of course we don't want. So I just I look at the damage calc, and the damage calc says for a fully physically defensive Rotom we do at max 36%, while this Rotom is at 40. So I kind of hope he over-predicts here, going for the Hydro Pump, expecting us to sack off our Hippowdon to the burn and get some damage off then with Stone Edge or something like this. Or even hoping for a crit Dragon Claw, something like this. So I just risk it, go for Dragon Claw, and we see it just killed. So this Rotom was not fully physically defensive. More like special defensive, since we don't really have attack investment, only 4 EVs. So we can take out the Rotom easily, and now Sharknado is at 11 kills, and nothing really stands between Sharknado 4 and the top rank in the MVP race. Porygon takes a lot of damage from the entry hazards. Without Eviolite, it's easy victim for our Earthquake here. Of course it goes for Ice Beam, but here the crit doesn't really matter. Porygon drops. Now the Liepard comes in for the first time in the whole battle. It's pretty frail, it takes a lot of Star Fox and Spike damage. And we somehow outspeed. I didn't expect it. I didn't really expect it to outspeed. Later we find out it's Trick with Iron Ball, mainly for Tornadus and Heliolisk, which we didn't even bring. And with that, not that it matters, but we actually managed to finish off this season with 3 wins and 4 losses after 4 losses in a row. We get another 2-0 victory, 2 victories in the end, which is pretty nice. We got some suspense in the last week of the JBA, making the outer matches really matter. And also now with 4 kills in this match. I have to show you this straight from the document. There we have it, Mega Garchomp having rank 1 in the MVP race after a really good run. At least 2 kills a match, except for week 2, where it only had 1 kill, but at least it had 1 kill every match, and now in the last match 4 kills, making him number 1 MVP race, number 1 Pokemon of the season. Closely finishing before Excador with 12 kills and Manaphy with 10 kills. So I drafted Mega Garchomp, hoping to make it work since it's so rarely used in Draftleague format, and we actually made it to the MVP race with 13 kills. So at least the FC Seviper 4 will take a small title out of this, and yeah, unfortunately with the other 2 matches we are out of the playoffs, we don't reach the playoffs. But still, this first season of the JBA was a lot of fun, especially since I got to use Blossom and Masquerain and Hitmonchan. Like, so many lower tier Pokemon you barely or really rarely can use in a Draftleague team, thanks to the 6-tier tier system. And this concludes our first season of our 2 first Draft Leagues. Basically, out of 16 matches we played, we are now 8 wins, 8 losses, which is, yeah, I said this in my PFL videos, this is much better than I would expect to do. I totally expected like my first Draft League seasons being really losing every match, but still then, we had a lot of fun. We got a lot of Pokemon to try out. I'm really looking forward to the next drafts, which hopefully will be even better. Thanks to all my Pokemon which I had here in the team. Mega Garchomp, Hippowdon, the Heliolisk, which got the second most kills with 5. And yeah, we managed to use everyone at least twice this season. Yeah, I thought we delivered an entertaining season of the JBA. We gave the analyst a lot of things to talk about, since you can talk more about misplays than you can talk about right plays. This is why our latest videos are so long. Even though I try to make my mistakes always sound as positive as possible. Yeah, but we didn't play that bad. We finished off with 3 wins and 4 losses this week, and only a -5 differential, which is not that bad at all. Mostly thanks to Mega Ground Jump being +9 himself. And with these words, this was way too long. Officially concluding the first seasons of our 2 draft leagues, and the next draft is coming really soon. I'm looking forward to this, and with these words, peace out.